But look, let's just start up at the top, man. Let's just start with Manel Kape and Brandon Royval. Is this what you thought it would be?
No. What Brandon Royval fight have you ever seen where he gets absolutely smoked that quickly in 3 minutes? Never. He's been finished before, but not like that. Not just bang, bang, done. He's durable. He's tough. He moves forward. The significant strikes he throws are ridiculous. And then he just ate a couple of clean shots, and that was the end of him. And I was shocked it went that way. I'm not shocked Manel won. I thought Manel would win. Mm-hmm. I'm not even shocked Manel finished him. But I didn't think it'd be that early. I thought it would be relentless but unorganized pressure from Brandon Royval he would just eat massive counter shots. Then later in the fight, they might add up to something.
Yeah. Where does this put Manel Kape in your obviously he'll probably be ranked number 2 or 3 right now. Like
I think he's next after Tatsuro Taira. Who else would it be?
So you think it's going to be Taira first and not Manel Kape?
It's 100% going to be. If Brandon Royval won, they might have put Brandon Royval in a position because he went to war with Josh Van and it was a fun fight, whatever. So they might have done that. But I mean, money-wise, view-wise, region-wise, you have to go with Tatsuro Taira.
So I would say Tatsuro Taira only if they take it to Japan. If they don't take it to Japan, I say you don't do that fight. I say you put Manel Kape there first against
I think they probably do take it to Japan. I mean, Manel's probably more deserving because Taira just lost 2 fights ago.
Yeah.
And he was losing to Alex Perez.
All signs show that they're going to be trying to get to Japan. Just a matter of, I just know how difficult it is to try to ink, a contract with the country. That's one. And 2 is you're trying to ink it with the venue and trying to do business over there. There is a language barrier always, even when you're trying to do something, whether it's production, whether it's venue or you're trying to negotiate the venue, whatever it is. Yeah. All those things are involved. It's very difficult and they take time. And obviously the UFC can get it done at any point at any time, but it's just a matter of how much money do you want to throw at it? Who's going to take responsibility for this and this and this? Who's paying for that? So those are all things that the UFC needs to negotiate. I would like to see them obviously get to Japan, and it would make sense with Tatsuro Taira if they're going to be in Japan. But if they don't get it to Japan, I can see them having Manel Kape first.
I think they'll do whatever they need to do to figure that out.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong because Josh Van's Asian too. So obviously not every single Asian country, is right there in Japan, but I think they will do. First of all, he's the first ever Asian born UFC champion. So I think they will do whatever they need to do.
No,
to
he
make
is
sure
not.
Tell that. I understand Wei Li is Chinese, but they literally said on the broadcast, and they must mean in the men's division or maybe that division specifically, but they said on the broadcast, Joshua Van is the first ever Asian-born champion. Obviously, it has to be men because Wei Li clearly, and I Googled it just to make sure, Wei Li was born in China. So they must be men's.
Man, they're just completely overlooking Wei Li.
They they forgot she existed, or they forgot to say men's champion when they were doing the stat.
Man, I wish they would do that with the WNBA, but that's for another time.
Forgot they existed?
Yeah. Oh man! All right, I just stirred the pot a little bit there. But Brandon Royval coming off 2 losses? Where does he go from here?
I don't think he goes anywhere. I think Brandon Royval will always be he's fun, he's exciting. He just lost, and it was still like a wow type fight. He came out, he moved forward. He had the more significant strikes at 17. It was like 17-13, and then they regraded it after. But I don't think. Listen, he's never going to be a world champion. I think you just keep putting him in fun.
You're quick. That's pretty quick to say that. I mean, there's a lot of things. Pantoja will be out for a bit. Brandon Royval had a great fight with the current champion. What makes you think? What happens if Pantoja's out for a year and a half? He could win 1 or 2 more fights in that year because he's a pretty active fighter and get pretty busy. I mean, he's still going to linger there somewhere. Let me just look at these rankings here. He's still going to linger in that position at number 3, number 4, somewhere that number 4 spot, I believe. So. I think Albazi is fighting Horiguchi. That puts Horiguchi in the mix. So probably, figure out that situation. But I mean, he's not far behind. He doesn't drop very much. So he's an active fighter. How long? And Manel Kape versus Van is a good fight. But also Tatsuro Taira and Kape could be a fight. Like there's fights to be had there that I think he can make another run at the title. Yeah, within a year.
I don't know. He just got knocked out. It's not like it was a close fight. The Josh Van fight was close, but they're going to do Taira first. Obviously, Royval beat Taira, so I guess he's hanging around there, but I still don't think he's going to be a world champion. Maybe he can somehow work his way up, but I don't necessarily think he'll end up actually being a world champion. I think he works hard. He's exciting. He's obviously very talented, but I just don't think he necessarily has, those intangibles to become the world champion. Like, what does he do better than everybody else? It's raw pressure, volume, but he's not faster than anybody. He doesn't hit harder than anybody. It's raw pressure and volume. And he even said that in a lot of the hype on Saturday. He even said, I'm not a freak athlete. I'm not crazy fast. I'm not crazy strong. I'm not crazy coordinated. And once you get to that level, just being insanely tough and durable and busy isn't going to win you a world championship.
I mean, I think the option is still there. I get what you're saying. I do. Like, look, somebody always has like that one thing that they can always go to, right? Like, Habib had the wrestling. George St. Pierre had the wrestling, but he was predominantly a good striker. So he could stuff takedowns and had good submission defense. Like, he had one thing that he did very well. Not just one thing, but they do a lot of things, everything very well. But there's always that fallback. Like, I've got this to get me out of trouble. Brandon Royval doesn't have that really. He's not knocking everybody out because he's not a heavy hitter. He's by volume. He's got great movement. He's got had a granite chin until the other night, but he's one of those guys that he just continues to put pressure. He continues to try to break you mentally. And I think him fighting 5-round fights favors him probably the most, out of a lot of those fighters in that weight class. Like in a Manel Kape fight, I don't think it favors him had this fight went into rounds 2, 3, or 3, 4, and 5. I think it would have started to favor Brandon Royval. He's just got to get that fight there. And it was unfortunate he didn't get it there. But Manel Kape, though, is making that run. I mean, are we going to give him credit, or are we just calling him a UFC fighter now? Because, he's really a rising fighter.
He's a UFC fighter. What are we talking about?
So as they start winning, now they become just UFC fighters.
Where did he have the most amount of fights? You're whatever you have the most amount of fights of.
I'm not sure where he had the most amount.
I think it's in the UFC. He's been around
because he was I think he was the rising champion, or he lost in the finals to somebody. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, I mean, look, he's a good fighter, man, a really good fighter. He used to train out at AKA Thailand, I think, with Mike Swick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when he was out that way. Yep. Look, good for them. I'm looking forward to seeing how how this all shakes out with Brandon Royval. Is what I'm more keen on, because he's going to be still in that mix because, like you said, he's got to win over Taira, but he's also kind of lingering in that position. Pantoja also being number one is going to be irrelevant, though, for this next probably, 8 months to 9 months before he makes his comeback.